All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday morning, January 4th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our morning meeting. Great to see Bell, Grant, Mario, Michael, Ari, who did pretty nicely earlier this morning on the IMMX trade. Great to see all of us live inside Cyber Group. And of course, if you're joining us once again on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back as well. So, folks, let's hop right into it here today. Tell you what, it's one of those mornings where I had not really much of a breakfast, no water, just a lot of caffeine. So if I sound a little off, my apologies. We'll be good to go, of course, for the market open, though. And of course, for later on this morning, we have our Traders Talk workshop for all of us inside Cyber Group. At least, that's our weekly workshop, hosted right here in our trading room. So if you have any questions that you would like to send over, I already have a bunch that were sent in from students and members alike already. Just send it right to my email address, josh@c2trading.com. For all of us inside the trading room, that is. If you're unfamiliar with Traders Talk, just so you know, some folks ask if there's a link for that. If you could hear my voice, you have access to it. And I'm speaking to only those in the trading room right now. Now, of course, if you're on social media today, Facebook Live or YouTube, if you wanted to take part on that or in that, just go right down to the link on the banner below of the stream there to get yourself started. But to begin, FLGC on the screen to begin here, up over 17%, albeit pulling back down now, pretty much off the VWAP, 236, 235 area, making lower highs actually. So it really needs to see some bit of buying here coming up. If not prior to the open, then perhaps like very shortly after. Otherwise, though, if there's no signs of life coming up here on the way up, then it's only going to continue to drop off and be more of a disappointment. So, this stock is a really good opportunity, not just because it's up this morning and it's cheap and it has, good liquidity. It's a partial gap fill or mini gap fill, you could say, back from mid-November, right? Dropped off from like 350 all the way down here to 270. So should it end up breaking that top at 270, perhaps there's more leeway for a run up higher to 350 even. So, that's what makes it interesting. I'll put this on our watch list right away. Definitely want to see a nice pop here coming up soon, though. Grant inside Cyber Group saying nice early call on IMMX early this morning. Well, pretty funny how that worked out, right, Grant? Because I was from my house, my home office, and I knew I was running late, so I had to share the screen early, post a really early list, which I don't like doing because there's always stocks that pop up, at 7:45, at 8 o'clock, and after, of course. I ended up keeping the IMMX on this screen here in hopes of a potential run and not a dump off. Oh man, this was a really good slingshot early this morning in pre-market, right? Oh man, I mean, hey, right now it's stalling out. It's trying to pop higher up to 8, but failing to do so. This was the one that we had yesterday that gapped up early in the morning. I forgot the news on it, so pardon me on that. But it's just to say, relatively new stock. It only opened up back from the end of last year. I mean, hit an all-time high of what is that? 631. That's right, $6.31 back in mid-December. So the interesting point about that is, well, this trade it ended up moving up there in pre-market. It ended up breaking above that price a bit later on and actually held above it pretty cleanly as support right here. So that's what made this a really interesting trade yesterday morning. Ended up running up beautifully afterwards. Now, of course, heading into the market open today, of course, like we just said, look what happened. Just funny enough, kept the line there. 630, 631, that past all-time high back from mid-December just held perfectly as support. I didn't even notice that until now. Just funny how that plays. But ended up making a nice push for right now. We'll keep this on our watch list, just given the activity so far this morning here. IMMX. I'll tell you what, I only put 4 stocks on the watch list here this morning, and we covered 2 of them. So what we'll do is cover the other 2. We'll just go right from top to bottom. Otherwise, a bit of a move up on Bitcoin this morning. Happy to see that, but today is Tuesday, so you'll hear more about that at least tomorrow, at least Wednesday. PSTV, one of the other stocks that we had on the pre-market list for this morning, ended up making a nice pop prior to 8 a.m., much like the IMMX trade. I'll tell you what, you have some like really funky spikes on the chart this morning, not just for PSTV, but for like a lot of these. So perhaps that's something that we'll cover inside our Traders Talk workshop earlier or later on this morning. But going back to that PSTV trade, at least for right now, obviously it's a great trade currently, testing and breaking above 2. Even right now, filling a pretty large order for about like 20, 30,000 shares on the offer at 203. So right now, this thing looks really healthy. It's making the type of pop that we hope to see the FLGC make coming up. All right, so 3 stocks on the pre-market watch list, 3 stocks on the morning watch list. What's the last one that we had so far? I think it was the NRBO. Was that it? Nah, this was the only bust from the pre-market list, at least. Hey, ended up making a nice pop prior to 8 a.m., fell flat. If it's not going to break higher, only one other way it's going to go. So it's still active this morning, folks, right? Up over 28% or 24%, trading over 7 million shares. So I'm going to keep this on our watch list too. I definitely like the first 3 a lot more. So, this one we'll put on the bottom of our list and we'll keep it on the bottom of our list at the end. All right. Charles Z ended up picking up just about 21 cents on the trade. He was in from 178 on PSTV a moment ago inside Cyber Group here. In from 178, out at 199. There we go. I got to respect the whole number price level at 2. All right, so there we go. Out early. And plus, it is to say, at least, after 9 a.m., we see a lot of consolidation as well. So if this fails to break higher and runs from here, I think Charles would make a pretty wise decision to get out and take the money. All right. So what we'll do is keep going, folks. We'll go right from top to bottom. Otherwise, the only other stock I think we actually focused on outside the pre-market list, there were two. We'll go the Hoth trade, HOTH, ended up making a big pop after 8 a.m. Unfortunately, kind of like that NRBO, fell flat after, albeit holding over $1. So I'll keep this on I'll put this one on our watch list as well, kind of near the bottom, much like the NRBO. I don't want to have too many stocks on this list at the end of it all. Let's see what else we got here. I think the other one was the ISPC. We'll get to that coming up pretty shortly. AMRK. I actually didn't mean to click this. Only trading 76 shares. I don't know what that's about. OGen here, pretty cheap. I'll look at it quick. I'm not a fan of the stocks below $1. Normally, we don't tend to trade those as frequent. But hey, look at Hoth. Ended up popping. Now, the ISPC was the other one, of course, that I had mentioned. We ended up calling out after we posted the pre-market watch list this morning. So aside from those 3 that we really focused on there, this was one of the only other ones. Ended up making a nice high, or a nice support level here off 950, 940-ish just a moment ago. But as you can see, we called it out off the pop from 850 as it topped off right around 1020-ish. For right now, though, there seems to be a bit of a historical level, and it's right around that 1020-ish area, 1020, 1030, pretty much right back from here, going from the end of the year. And you're not trying to hit one exact price level, folks. It's just a matter of consistencies. So 1030, the low back on the 16th, 1030, the low back on the 17th, 1017, the low on the 20th. So, those all fall pretty close to one another in relation to a stock that's making a $5 move a day, pretty much. So, that's a pretty prominent level, I'd say 1020-ish to 1030-ish for right now, pushing right back on up. So I definitely like this one. We'll put this on our list just for reference so you folks know how I kind of rank these and so forth. I'm going to put this one above the bottom 2. All right, Susan and Bell, the ladies of the trading room there, picking up on the PSTV trade. Bell got just about 20 cents herself, and Susan did really nicely. She got about near 40 cents on it. She was in from 167, Bell in from 187. Congrats, ladies, very nice. Love to see that. All right, so we keep it going. We'll see what else is out there. NRBO we talked about, ALNA, another cheapie, FLGC we talked about on our list already, I believe, right? Yep. All right, we keep it going. We keep it moving. ENTX, pop and drop, done with that. And NLSP, we called this out off the pop, flattened out. Still pretty active, or just trading a lot of volume for that matter. So, I guess I could slip this on the bottom of our list too with the other 2 that I'm not as keen on. But let's cherry pick now. Let's see if there's anything looking a lot better than this. Got some shouts on Ford. So, from our side list here, perhaps Ford can make the main watch list at the end of it all. I was pretty interested about Mavis at first, MVIS. Microvision is officially the name. Us here in the trading room, we nicknamed this stock Mavis. But MVIS ended up making a nice little run up after 8 a.m. I thought it was low volume at the time. I don't even know if I typed it in the chat in the chat board because I was pretty reluctant on it. So ended up pulling back. So from that point, listen, we tend to find a lot of these familiar names on our gainers list at times, like OCGN, Fuel Cell, CCL at times even. If they're not trading a whole lot of volume, like the minutes prior to 9:30, if they're not showing good signs of life prior to 9:30, like the last 30 minutes, 45 minutes prior, I'm not going to be as particular about it. So, hey, we did well on the stock MVIS in the past. I would love to call it out if it has, another move up later on. For right now, though, we'll see if there's better opportunities first. Ooh, I'll tell you what, geez. Number 50 on the gainers list is up 3%. I don't know what that's about because, I mean, just from the afternoon yesterday, there were so many stocks that were up big. So we'll take a look on the loser side here for right now, see if there's anything that's shortable or getting crushed or, anything of that nature. AFI dropping off, shortable, but not a whole lot really going on there, really. SE too expensive. Is it Foot Locker? Yeah, a little spotty chart here. FL, I don't know if this is earnings related or not. We've traded Foot Locker in the past off of news, but typically it's traded a lot more volume than this. So I don't know what this is about. Maybe it's some sort of downgrade by a firm. I feel like they'd be trading a hell of a lot more volume compared to that if it's earnings. PDD, a little expensive there, trading a lot more volume than Foot Locker at least. Folks, I think that just about does it. I mean, of course, we'll talk about the GMPX pretty quickly. GMPX was a huge move from yesterday. We ended up trading this all throughout the day, going into the afternoon. It broke higher. So, this one, we're going to have a lot more time to cover this stock in the Traders Talk Workshop later on this morning. So for Bill, Ari, Grant, Charles, Wendy, Michael, again, we're going to cover this stock from head to toe coming up at 11 o'clock Eastern time. I think 2 students already emailed me about this trade, actually. So early bird gets the review. There we go. So for the GMPX right now, at least it's down 6.5%. I would rather focus on this GMPX compared to that, Mavis trade or compared to even like the NRBO, which is on the list here as well. So you know what? GMPX will slip on as well. We'll see if there's anything going on with Ford. Oh yeah, big time. It was up 2+% last I checked in on it. So, hey, this is a pretty nice run here. Let's just check the news on Ford. Just out of curiosity. I mean, I could have checked the news for any other stock here, but Ford's a pretty brand name stock. I know a lot of us tend to trade this, if not even the options. So let's see. Kind of similar news to Tesla and NIO over the last couple of days. No, Ford nearly doubles their F-150 Lightning production target to open order bank this Thursday. I was about to say order book, order bank this Thursday for reservation holders. So just I guess probably higher result compared to what they projected. Nice pop here. I know Bill, obviously, he's been trading this every day, so he's been doing pretty nicely on this run here. So Ford definitely will put on our watch list. How can we not? All right. For anyone on YouTube, Facebook Live, if there's anything that you folks see, definitely let me know. If you don't, no sweat. I think that we touched upon a lot of them, if not all of them. Check Benzinga Pro here pretty quick. At least that signals page I go back to every now and then. Needless to be said, but Ford's popping up there right now. PSTV popping up there right now. So that means PSTV is breaking higher as we're speaking. Yep, there we go. So as I always say, folks, at least in the afternoons and here in the mornings, if you tend to catch me, of course, I'm tagging in for Fausto this week as he's out. But hey, we don't need to put every stock under the sun on our watch list. We don't need to, make a 15 stock watch list, right? When we have the PSTV ripping right here, we have the IMMX trade, which is really volatile. And then otherwise, Ford, what a run. So there's plenty to go around, folks, heading into this market open. I look forward to it. Again, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day, each and every morning. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Send an email right on over to josh@ctutrading.com. For all of us on YouTube, I gotta take care of all of us inside the live trading room first, and our students most importantly. But I typically get back to you within a day or two time if you're on social media. For all of us live inside the trading room, I'll get back to you folks coming up in the next 15 or 20 minutes. All right, folks, take care.